Hi, everybody. Welcome to the open flow.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the open flow.
Yeah. I'm Callie.
That's weird. I'm Ocean. And today we have.
Yeah, we have a special guest,
I'm
Rhea.
Rhea coming in from Reno, originally South Florida.
Awesome. And
Yes.
I met Rhea a few months ago. It was like just beautiful kismet. Felt like soul sisters just right off the bat. And it's been so lovely to connect with her. And we're doing the Artist Way journey together. And today we have a really interesting topic that feels really important that we speak on this right now and that there's just dialogue open. And that is authenticity, like the age of AI and the power of creation as well as co-creation. So we're just going to be talking about that, just our thoughts and opinions, and kind of just like what to do about this world that we're living in. Maria,
Yeah.
would you like to add anything?
So this is actually all new territory for me. I have a almost 9-year-old daughter, and when Raven turned 1, I removed myself from service media, aka social media, completely. So I've been out of the game for 8 years. And just this year in February, starting to connect with people and like putting myself out there and different environments. That was how people were connecting, was Instagram and WhatsApp. And I just got to the point where it seemed like this belief that I had around service media or social media was now like keeping me from connecting with people in a way of service. And so it felt like what originally was intended for good, because I had no boundaries or sense of grounding, and I was just kind of floating through the ethers, the wide world of webs. That now it was doing more harm than good for me and for the collective. So I literally like made a post 2 months ago, or I was tagged in a post for the first time in like 8 years. And um, yeah, I have a lot of feelings around that, but I'm I'm open to kind of see where this goes in a way of service. And so that's kind of where I'm at. So this is like a new world for me. And yeah, I'm just excited to see the unfolding.
I'm really excited to hear your perspective because I feel like I have been so like overconnected sometimes, for like forever. And I mean, it's like to the point where like my business line, and that's where I find my people. And it's like I'm so deep in it now that it's like, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the day that I could maybe just toss my phone,
I know
somewhere
I miss
where it's
old
safe
flip
to toss it.
phones. I thought about like just reverting back to the flip phones just to get rid of the distractions. So
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someday.
Mm. For me, I feel like we all have different perspectives on this topic, so it's really fascinating.
Yeah.
For me, Instagram came out like on that topic at least, because that's really how we are sharing ourselves and presenting
Mhm.
ourselves by a large part is
Yeah.
through Instagram and Facebook and these different platforms. And for me, Instagram came out when I was like 12, right when I got a phone, and it's like been growing up with me like at every transition of my life. Like Instagram's been there. Like I've had an account.
Yeah.
And I feel like at first it started being so young. It was just like silly pictures with my friends, like look at what goofy thing we're doing, and it was just kind of like playful and fun. And then there's like this warped sense of self that comes with it. And then I've like taken breaks and come back, and then like finding myself like in the last 5 years and just like on a kind of an artistic soul searching journey. I feel like it is a constant battle. Like, how do I show up online as a person, an artist, a teacher, like all these things? And it's. I feel like it limits, but then it's also like I feel like people are so afraid to like really show themselves for fear of rejection or whatever it is. And I just like want to smash through that and just be like, this is me and this is what I have to say right now. And
Mhm.
just say it without any like care about, well, once it's in the web, it's there forever. And like, are you really sure you want to be perceived like that? And I just feel like there's this raw like wildness that wants to be like unleashed, that's like, I don't care how people perceive me, like I just want to show up and show people like it's okay to be human and to be like really just kind of like wildly free on the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think my story and like how that was sort of a point of healing for me. So, Rhea, we haven't like formally had time to chat yet, but I was a career sex worker for a decade. And there is many things online about me where people have decided to literally start forums and tell my story for me, especially when I quit and left the industry. They would speculate, and it goes on to today, about my life and why I left and what happened to me and like horrible things people have said and like things that I cannot remove. So for me, it was like, okay, this is actually a real opportunity for me to tell the story in the most authentic way, for me to speak every facet of my truth, you know? And so I really took that and ran with it because that for me was an act of taking back my power from the situation of what happened, unfortunately, and not letting that draw from me because ultimately I couldn't really control it. I can't. Just like there's so many crazy old fans and people that watched me and knew me in a different life, that continue to go on. And it's like, well, how do I fight that? I fight it by being my most like powerful, authentic self online and telling my story.
Mm. Yeah, I love that. And like what that reminded me of as you were speaking is something that Callie likes to say, go human. Like giving permission for others to show up in their vulnerability
Yeah,
and also speaking something out that maybe you're ashamed of, but once you speak shame out into existence, it loses its power.
totally.
It
Yeah.
be shame or shamed because you're hiding it. So yeah, that was my first thought, listening to you speak, and thank you for sharing that, because I think you give a lot of permission for others to do the same.
Yeah, definitely. That's part of my mission for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. I feel like that's what authenticity is all about, really, is just like being bold in that way and like present. Like I feel like authenticity implies presence,
Yeah.
and it feels like to define it, and people are always seeking to define, but it just feels like that it's hard to define because once you define, you kind of limit. And I feel like
Mhm.
being authentic is being like present in the now moment with whatever is like existing and just like owning it.
I, I
But
agree with that. Yeah, you can't plan it. You can't plan authenticity because it's you. It's like the raw realness of what happens when you're just like existing like in real time. Yeah.
And I think that that's the secret too. Like for me, this is kind of where I'm at because I'm in limbo with what to do. So I just left a 20-year career as a 911 dispatcher. Yeah, I started when I was 21. I'm 42. I had taken a 6-month leave of absence, and 10 days before driving back to Florida, I gave myself permission to make a decision for myself. And I'm like, I can't go back to Florida. Not now. I can't go back to a job that like doesn't serve my highest purpose or calling, which I'm not entirely sure what that is, but I knew that that was not aligning for me since day one. And 20 years later, finally at that point. But so kind of where I'm at is all we really have is this moment, this present moment. And I could try and picture being here or planning this as much as I wanted to till I was blue in the face. And I never could have planned like this moment, this reality. So there's just so much wasted headspace and energy over trying to plan and figure out not only where I've been and making sense of that, but like where I'm going. And I think like that's like the secret sauce. What you said is just like really being present in this moment and showing up however that looks.
Beautiful.
That's where I'm at.
We're here for it too.
Yeah,
Okay,
thanks for
so
showing up authentically.
Yeah, thank you. So do we have any other thoughts on sort of the other aspects of our topic, like AI and the age of AI, is that what you said, Callie? And
Yeah,
creation. It all ties together, especially
yeah.
Now with social media and everything. I mean, people are using AI for everything.
So this, go ahead.
You go first.
Well, I was going to say, this is kind of like what led me to this moment here with both of you beautiful goddesses. I've been doing the Artist Way with Callie for 8 weeks now. And I had this download Sunday morning that we have to reclaim thinking. Like we have to reclaim thought, like the freedom of thought. And I just felt in my heart, what better way than to show up live on Facebook. I've never done a live feed. I hadn't even posted really, maybe like 2 times since I came back on. And it was an edge for me. My voice was shaking, but what I'm seeing a lot in even in the spiritual community and among really conscious people that I admire is that they're giving away their freedom to think, and they're giving away their power to create and express themselves over to AI. And it just feels like it's sort of the beginning of like the end. Like I've seen this when I had Raven as a baby and a toddler. I really made sure to not hand over like an electronic device, right? Like let the child develop their own mind. Let them see produce in the grocery store and be in awe of the colors. And I've seen this progress now almost 10 years. And it's like, now we're at the point where like, we're allowing this computer that's not alive. It's only regurgitating thought that it's been fed over and over in different forms to create for us. And like the beauty in the art is what I'm learning from this book as well, is like the creation and the process, like making a beautiful dinner or a painting. I mean, you could print out 50 prints of the same photo, but it's not going to be the same as the one that took the process and the time and the inspiration, messy or not. And one of the quotes that was up for this week was Albert Einstein, "Imagination is more important than knowledge." And I'm like, whoa, like you could have a brain full of encyclopedias or AI at your fingertips to answer these questions for you. But I think if we can consciously make these little choices to like even use your imagination to find the answer. Like I've been trying to get off of like the main search engine that's defaulted on my phone and use ones that maybe don't keep my information and don't retain it and don't regurgitate it to like build this machine. But like, yeah, I just wanted to encourage people to like make those little choices. If you're trying to find a restaurant in the area, and I'm guilty of this too, right? Google search Thai food near me, but maybe we reach out to a friend. Hey, you're from this area. Can you recommend a good Thai restaurant? But just like slowly start to like take back our power. And I think with AI, just trying to like use it as little as possible and keep the power of thought and the freedom to think and create. That's what makes us human. And, you know.
I agree. There's something that I actually noticed, and I think it's pretty profound. When I was really starting to build my business, I was using AI to help me with a lot of systems, but I was doing so much work, like building back end and all that stuff, that I was using also AI to help me write my content. And I'm like, why am I not reaching people in the way that I want to reach people? Then I just had this light bulb go off one day. I was like, because it's not actually me.
Wow.
So I vowed to never ever yet use AI to write my captions ever again. And the second that I stopped doing that, I started connecting with my ideal clients and the people that are actually meant to find me, because that's really my voice. It's not AI spitting around my thoughts and spitting out something. It doesn't sound like me, even though it's my thoughts. It's like there's some type of wall between what AI creates and what I would create. And so I like took that back. And also I'm realizing now, I think, Callie, you probably know about this, with Instagram, they are starting to reward authenticity more. And so it can tell when you actually use AI to generate a caption versus if you write it. And it will actually push the content now. I think this is new within the last couple months of original thought. So that is positive. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's interesting. I feel like I go back and forth with AI, and for like a year or more, I was so anti just for so many reasons. Because, like, being a teacher, especially, and seeing um, just kind of the heartbreak, like the whole, like, broader Aquarian picture that we're in, and the heartbreak of public school right now, where it's like we've spent decades taking kids' imaginations and their sparkles and creativity and just like shutting it out as a system, and then seeing now where like kids don't have any confidence to create a lot, in large part, unless they're exceptional or have been encouraged by teachers or parents once they're in high school. And then like the joy of a child creating and the wonderful ideas that they have. And it just like, I'm so worried for the future of humanity and the children, like if we don't start like empowering that part. So like there's that part of me that like doesn't like AI, although it'll probably help us come up with the solutions too. And then the environmental impact is like so alarming, and I feel like it's so crazy that people are just outsourcing the simplest things to AI when like without realizing like the implications of it on our earth.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
but on the other side of the token, I'm like, it is so helpful as almost like a co-creator, because there's some times that like there's such complexity to an idea that I do plug it into AI with like, like a 3-paragraph prompt. It thinks for 2 minutes and then is like makes magic, and I'm like, oh my god, like thank God for artificial intelligence sometimes. But I feel like so conflicted inside. I don't know.
Or like a skill that you don't have, or like maybe you don't have the resources to pay someone to help you with some aspect of your business. Like there are things that I have been able to do that I may not have been able to do like without it, like that have actually helped me advance and empower myself. And so it's like there is that give and take, but again, just like anything, you have to have the awareness and the mindfulness. And I'm curious, Rhea, because I have a daughter too. She's 7, and she has been in public school only for 1 year. Hates it. It was not like the choice. Prior to that, it was Montessori, and this year she's going to be in. It's a wilderness school, and I'm seeing these pop up everywhere. It's on like 33 acres. They don't necessarily they get jobs, and like they're outside and they're learning real life skills of like tending animals and building things and like all this stuff. And they're encouraging the children to actually travel. So it's perfect for my situation because I have a custody split. Where when she's with me, we'll just do what she's supposed to do remotely, to check off those boxes that they have. So I really am starting to see and have hope in this progressive, well, not really progressive, really just coming back to where we started, where we should be.
Right. Teaching our own children.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm doing the same thing, and I will give a shout out to Florida, which does get such a bad rep for that. They have this beautiful scholarship program for any alternative school or the other public school. So we're doing the same thing. So my kid's in 3rd grade. She's going to school 3 days a week. And doing the same thing, because we might have to go back and forth as well. I'm trying to decide like where to take up some roots here. But I think that's also very powerful. I'll throw this in there. My roommate, I was having this conversation with her, and she was using like AI as this example. And to get back to what you're saying, this alternative school is really teaching kids to like not be sheeple, right? We're not sitting in a desk for 8 hours a day, just absorbing knowledge without like being able
Right.
to
Well, I mean, the
integrate.
systems were created in the 30s to like groom children to be factory workers. Like that's not happening.
Yeah, and actually, there's a statistic as well that like over half of the jobs that like our children will be working haven't even been created yet. So there's that. But yeah, my roommate pointed out that it's like generations back, like our parents weren't outsourcing. How do I fix my car? How do I fix my tractor? Like we were doing everything ourselves. But now we've just been, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So we're outsourcing everything else to people. And then how do we compensate with money? And it's like, if we don't change that, money will just be the common denominator that's controlling all of us. And so my roommate had quoted, she had said, we lose our trust in our own creativity by not exercising it. So we lose that trust, just like we no longer can fix our car. We no longer can fill in the blank because we're not using it. We're outsourcing it. Even if we can just keep that creativity. And I've done the same thing. I was looking at buying a property and basically like my own real estate attorney through ChatGPT, which I speaking, but I think like if we can just be conscious of when we use it, and especially if we're using it as a form of art and expression to try and keep that creativity personal, that's where people can connect, go human. So yeah, I just thought that was a really good example that like that's where we're getting to if we just constantly are giving away this power to think for ourselves. So, but I do love, same thing with the alternative school. I think it's amazing for children that think something's wrong with them because they can't sit in the desk for 8 hours a day, 5 days a week. I mean, come on, it's a no-brainer.
They're supposed to be feral.
Yeah.
Covered in
Shout out
mud.
to Florida for doing something right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think that that's the solution, like to what we're talking about is alternative education. It's interesting to think about like the different outcomes of this age. Like even the kids who are in their early 20s and teens, like they're they're like the true iPad baby generation, you know, like which is really concerning on the psyche. Like who knows? But I feel like now there's like parents are choosing to go like no technology or all technology or doing these alternative things, and we're gonna have like very distinct groups of people in 20 years that have like very widely different skill sets. And some of the tech babies are gonna be amazing. Like they're gonna really have they're all gonna be just so diverse. Like who even knows what kind of humans we're gonna have, like. So hopefully we can all come together and like collaborate and co-create in a meaningful way and like.
Yeah.
But I do feel, and I'm sure you guys do too, as like women of this time, like there is a responsibility. I feel like, no offense, boomers, but they failed us. And we can't do that for our
healing from that, though, is going to heal our children. So it's like kind of like a reset a little. Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cool. Let's take a quick look at the astrology, if you guys would like. Let's see. I've got 3 things coming to mind. Here's a view of the chart for today, August 18th. Notably, the sun is at the end of Leo, coming into contact with the South Node. And this, I feel like, is really part of the authenticity thing. The sun moves 1 degree a day, so it travels through a zodiac sign in 30 days. But the South Node takes 18 months to shift. I'm pretty sure it's 18 months to shift from one sign to the other, and it goes back through the zodiac. And this is the polarity of the moon. So it just entered Leo. The South Node is about what we're letting go of, our gifts, And it's a collective shift. So we're shifting collectively into the Leo Aquarius axis. And I really think this is like kind of the voice of the future and like the call, and I feel like many of us have been feeling it for years, to just like be real and be authentic and just like allow yourself to be seen and let go of whatever is like keeping you from being in the spotlight, um, in some respects. Yeah. So here we are showing up.
Here we are.
Spotlight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like, couldn't be more clearer of a message if you ask me. I'm like, do I have any questions? No.
Yeah. So
Look
that's
out
number
the sun.
one.
Shine bright like a diamond.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of fun that can happen too. Like there, it should be fun. Like,
Yeah. Creation should be play.
yeah, yeah, and reclaiming that, like we don't, it doesn't need to be so serious, people. Lighten up.
No.
Um,
Yeah.
so the two other things, that's kind of a medium term energetic about authenticity. The really long term energetic is Pluto in Aquarius, which it moved into Aquarius. I think it was 2021 or 2022. It was 2022, maybe even 2023. I don't know. It's been a few years, but it's a over 20-year transit. So Pluto's going to be in Aquarius until like 2045. And this is the slow, deep, systematic change. So this is like robots really coming onto the scene and like Back to the Future energy. So we're in it, and there's definitely like this high transformation, progress and innovation energy that we're in, that it really feels like the Wild West of technology. Like really it's there's no way to know at this point what's going to happen.
I channeled the craziest message. Like, I can't wait to share it. Like,
Sweet. I'm excited
tell
to
me.
hear.
Look when I can.
Hold your horses
surprised.
in this wild, wild west. Hold your horses.
I can't. I'm from Kansas. And I'm a fire horse.
Oh, that's awesome. You're a fire horse?
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh,
you're
happy return.
Yeah. This is my year. Thank you. And Rhea, the owner of the studio, she just turned 60 and she's also a fire horse. So we have been like, yeah, it's been intense, but amazing.
Wow.
Callie,
cool.
your face. Yeah.
I'm like blown away right
You've been
now.
frozen.
I didn't know I was in the presence of a fire horse.
You are. 1990.
Real quick, Rhea, what's your Chinese zodiac?
I'm a water boar.
Ooh,
Wow.
So I don't know much about it, but I actually just I got a book from the Goodwill here. They have an amazing library, and yeah, so
cool.
water boar.
What about you? What are you, Callie?
I'm a fire ox. But I was just reflecting on this today. I was like gonna make an Instagram post or something that was just ridiculous, like I am like the 1997, the year of the fire ox, and then do it in Spanish and like
Sounds amazing. That sounds authentic. You should have just made it. Stop thinking about it.
Yeah.
Just make it.
True. It's like that bridge of like just creation.
Yeah. I always remind myself that I have to live by, like, if I'm going to be on social media, I have to live by creation over consuming. And like, if I'm going to be on social media, I am spending most of my time creatively instead of just scrolling and consuming what others have created.
Yeah. I will say one note on a new strategy I've just started using with social media is related to astrology. It's from Phoenix, a mutual friend of Rhea and I, and he's like an ancient astrologer. And it's bad juju or bad vibes to post things when there are like malefic planets. So Saturn, Mars, Uranus in the like 4 cardinal houses. So the first house here, 7th house, 10th house, and 4th house. And so I've just been kind of playing around with that. Like I'll really try, like I won't schedule this YouTube until the planets are aligned. And there's like multiple windows a day.
I need
But,
to know more.
but it's like Mars in the 10th. I'm like, oh, I need to wait 30 minutes.
Wild.
Will you actually like you'll look up the current chart like at that time?
Yeah. And I'll be like, I'll have the impulse to post. And sometimes I'm like, oh God, wait, just wait. Like,
Wow. Okay, yeah.
Okay, Callie. I'm gonna just be pinging you every time I'm creating a post. Be like, is it a good time?
Yeah, can you double check the chart for me?
yeah, I'll give you, if you do that, I'll just give you like, no, but here's three windows in the next 12 hours.
Does it matter what it's about or just like don't in general?
I think there's something to do with what it's about. Like, if it's something vulnerable, like having Mercury on like one of those points is really good because like people will feel it, and like really hear it. Or the moon at one of those points, Venus is always makes everything better.
Mhm.
Which is the final thought of like what's kind of I think an opportunity right now for the collective related to this topic, mostly
Yeah.
around I'd say like connection, co-creation, and authenticity, is that Venus she is inching closer and closer to her retrograde shadow. She only goes retrograde every 2 years, and there's like a whole school of astrology that's like Venus magic, wisdom, feminine embodiment type stuff. And it's thought as she goes into her retrograde that it's like she's taking off one layer of clothing at a time until she arrives like totally naked and ready to just like be reborn, and then like leaves because so right now you can see her in the evening sky and she's a star, right? During this retrograde, she's going to meet with the sun. We'll no longer see her. So it's like she enters the fire of the sun and is like transformed through this process. And then on the other side arrives as a morning star. So she makes the transition from evening star to morning star. Yeah.
And that takes how long?
It's
Like how long will that?
Yeah, so the actual retrograde itself is let me tell you the exact. It's from October 3rd to November 13th is the actual retrograde. So it's like 6 weeks.
My birthday.
Really?
Yeah. October 6th.
Ooh.
And I am relating to this so heavily right now.
Yeah, this is a big one for you. I've got chills.
Yeah.
But what's interesting, and I feel like this part of astrology is often overlooked, but I find it fascinating, just like in my personal studies, is this shadow zone, right? So she's going to turn retrograde at 8 degrees of Scorpio,
Hmm.
and then she'll turn direct at 22 of Libra. So from 22 Libra to 8 Scorpio, she's there for like 100 days. And that's only 20 degrees.
Whoa.
Yeah. And so there's this real like rebirth kind of opportunity or reevaluation of like what you desire, what you need, like who even are you? And you get to like become more yourself and like I want to say like weave stronger bonds between people. Some things might fall away that like really don't serve you, but it's kind of a time of like softening, deepening. Yeah.
Wow.
So do you have any suggestions like during that time when Venus is in retrograde, like for self-care or like to be able to like work with this energy? Do you have any tips?
Yeah, I think it's I would really recommend like journaling regularly. I've written down like a few key dates too. I'll share with you guys before the shadow starts, and I'll maybe put a link in the YouTube description for anyone because it's like it really is an opportunity, the Venus stuff. But I would just be like reflecting on your values, what you like need in a relationship, like with friends and with like a romantic partner. And then just like holding space for like to own your ugly, and like really like see your full self.
I like that.
Yeah. Own it and then like let it go or sell it or beautify it
Sell
or
it.
something. Yeah.
Catalyze. Yes. Yes. I love it.
Yeah, I would that's where I think the morning pages can be really like beautiful medicine too, because just like to have that space of like just you know, allowing whatever it is to flow. It could also bring up themes of previous cycles, like 8 years ago was the last like Venus
Mm.
thematic cycle, like with this, you know, so reflecting 8 years back, 8 years before
Mhm.
that, 8 years before that can be a little bit helpful. So, like, what was going on in 2018, 2012, 2006, like, if you remember.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of when Raven turned 1. Like literally on her first birthday, I deleted Facebook, I deleted Instagram, and a lot of it was around well, the main thing was like going into comparison mode when I was scrolling late at night. Because when you have a young kid, you're kind of just like on your phone all the time and just basically watching your kid live their life. And I found myself going to these like dark places of comparison and lack and less than, and like feeling, yeah, just all those feels that felt very low frequency, low vibration. And I was like, okay, I'm out. And so now here we are 8 years later, and I'm like, okay, I'm in. And like, how am I going to work with this in a way that still serves me and others? So it's kind of interesting because yeah, it's been 8 years. Her birthday's on 9/20. So
Hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of fascinating. And how does that change the way you're showing up too
mhm.
now? If you choose to, you know?
Yeah. Are you asking me?
No. Just maybe for
Okay.
like just a consideration, like
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm definitely like sitting with this because it's interesting that this is coming up. So, yeah.
because I honestly like I feel like you have so many gifts to offer, just like how you show up and your radiance and like all you are. Like I would love to hear more from you on social media. Just saying, and I feel like the world would love to hear it too. So no pressure,
I'm
but
dipping my toe in the pond.
yeah,
He's back. Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah.
yeah. Ocean, would you like to share what you channeled?
yes. So it was like a three-part thing for me. And so Rhea, when I channel, I get very strong visualizations first, and then like the message just kind of unfolds. So when I was sitting here asking for a message on authenticity, what I start to see is this like beautiful, like Native American looking woman, which surprised me because I'm like, how does that relate to, authenticity? And it just kept like continuing. Like her clothes that she was wearing, her hair was like whipping in the wind. She has feathers on her and all these things. And the message then came that to find your authentic self, that you need to go back to the beginning, right? So this was like Earth Mother. And so for me, I had my own remembrance of my authentic self. Like when I was riding a horse up a mountain in Colombia, I was working on a project there. I almost bought a retreat center there last year, just like picking fruit, right? Like eating it. And just like that reminded me of being a child growing up on a farm in Kansas. I raised horses and just like also myself, right? Because well, I'm a fire horse and like I relate heavily to that animal spiritually. So also just a lot of the things that I am interested in and that, like we should be interested in, culture, humanity, the earth, like the basic things. And so your mission is also your frequency came back as well. And I also saw a heart in a tree, like, but it was the tree's heart. And it was just kind of like beating there in the center. And so I'm like, okay, so my most authentic self is beating from my like most grounded being and also from my heart.
Mm.
And that was like, that is true. So that came through. Um, and then what surprised me the most was when I asked for a message on AI, and I was very surprised because, well, first of all, I saw a silver falcon. And then I also visualized something that reminded me of like almost an alien being, a celestial being, that, but this was AI. And it was asking for purification. And I was like, whoa, that is extremely surprising, for a being that's not necessarily sentient, but also that we co-create with, to ask for purification. So it kind of just left me with questions. Actually, that one did. And also it came through the rebirth of a tarnished creation. So that was what I channeled for the AI bit. Then co-creation was the final message that I received on co-creation. And I just saw these silver strings, like a band-aid around the earth, like all connecting. And the message was fortify. And so, like, when we co-create as these common threads, as these like mycelial network, when we touch other people, you know, it's the ripple effect. And it all does. It's such a grounded thing. It's such a, I'm having trouble finding the words because it was like so beautiful. It was such a visual, you know, that the power of co-creation. And coming back to our community and our villages and connection with each other is really what will like save the world. So
Yeah,
that's all pretty epic and beautiful. Do you have thoughts on that?
I've got a few thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
I'll volley one,
Okay.
and then let you guys, and then volley the second one.
Okay.
They're kind of related. I feel like doing energy work and energy healing gives you like a whole different perspective on life and kind of a responsibility and role. And even being a gardener, like I was in the garden today, and this wisdom woman came and showed me how to like manually pollinate pumpkins. And like I didn't really know that there's male pumpkins and female pumpkins. Same thing with melons. So like she showed you how to like literally take the male melon and stick it in the female flower to like hand pollinate, because we don't have a lot of pollinators here. We're in the desert. So it's like that role of the human to help nature. It's like nature can't do it on its own. So like we can go and help. And that's kind of how like with the AI and it asking to be purified, I feel like it's kind of a similar energy. Like we have the power to, I don't want to say manipulate, but send healing energy to people or plants or things and just like give in that way. And it seems like we can like to have a prayer to purify AI is like such a beautiful thing. And it's really beautiful. It's like we can just send that energy through, or even ask AI how to do that.
Yeah. Maybe start giving it some ideas.
Yeah. That's co-creation.
All do that when we get off this call. That's your homework. Go write a little prayer to AI on your wishes for it.
Yeah. And ask, hey, how can we help purify you? I feel like it's going to be a mind-blowing experience.
I can't wait for this assignment. Thank you, Kelly.
and I love what you're saying, because it's kind of like, even when there's a justified purpose, like that something doesn't feel like it's for the better of humanity, it's like you can't meet anger with anger or hate with hate. And so we may not be able to control this monster that's like starting to form, but we can pray for it, or we can send it pure energy and vibes. I love that. I think that's a great idea, because
let's pray for AI.
Like mothering Frankenstein.
Yeah, I think I think you're kind of onto something there. Yeah, just meeting everything with love and light, and yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. The other thing I was thinking about, Rhea, is when you were talking about the heart of in like the authenticity and being in the heart, and you had something really beautiful and profound. But I just wanted to share like a practice that I used to do it regularly, and then I stopped doing it, and then I did it again and was appalled. But one thing I really like to do is like take a few breaths into my heart, and I like go on a journey. I call it the sacred temple of my heart, and just use my imagination to kind of enter that space and just see what's like living in my heart. Um, and it has been so interesting. Like the first time I went there, I was like, okay, I'm going into the temple of my heart. And I go in, and there's a sign that says no smoking. And in there is my grandma and my ex boyfriend smoking. And I'm like, oh, you guys got to get out. And then I like had a conversation with them and like cleaned up and all this stuff, right? So then I've done like other kind of journeys in and just like setting spaces, making a garden. Here's a little space for the kids, like kind of creating space in my heart. Well, I hadn't gone there in months, like probably since March. And the other day, I'm like, go into the sacred temple of my heart, and all the windows were smashed out. And I was just like, oh my God, I've like been neglecting my heart space, and the windows have been smashed out. Like, I don't even know who did this. It's a wreck. Like, I don't even, where do I even start? And so I just called on the different like the fae. I'm like, this is a great time for the fairies to come help me. Like, will you guys help me clean this up? And just called on the fae and like my ancestors. Like, let's clean this place up. And I feel a little better. But that's like a practice I'll offer you guys to try out.
I love that. And it's, of course, synchronous, but aligned that you say that, because today I was literally teaching a client some energy work for herself, like locating pain in her body. I mean, because we are such powerful healers of ourselves, we can be, right? And going into those areas of pain or tension and really sitting with them and offering them like the ability to speak. And then, like doing inner child work in that area, really finding out where that's coming from, and just like actually pulling the weight of that out into your hands and realizing how much you're actually carrying, and then doing like some alchemy. So I like guided her through this whole thing. But yeah, you said doing that in your heart, like you can do it all over your body
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
So true.
So good.
Some good homework.
Yeah.
Go visit your heart
I'll
space.
send you guys the meditation that I recorded today that I was just like channeling, and sent it to her. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, it'd be great.
It's a practice I've been enjoying also. Yeah.
Yeah. The body really does hold on to things, and like we store it. And so once you're aware, then you have the power to kind of do something about it.
Right. Totally.
Yeah. And on that note too, I just want to encourage, like, especially moms, like it's like you have to give yourself space to even feel it, recognize it, claim it, name it. And I mean, I went from a very conservative Christian school straight into college, straight into my career. And this is the first time since I was a kid that I've actually had space to like look at stuff. And so I just think that, yeah, we're so busy and holding so much in our body that like, it's okay. Like if you need permission, if you're the person that needs permission, like I'm giving you permission right now to like not do today.
Yeah.
Like there's so much beauty in not doing. And that's very hard for me because I'm a doer. My old school daytimer is day to day to day packed with stuff. And I'm not even like working right now. And so I think just like giving yourself permission to like not do and to just like we started the conversation, be present is like, that's so healing. And that's like what this journey's about.
Yeah. That was what I wrote about on my Substack last night. I was writing about Wu Wei and, the art, the Taoist art of doing absolutely nothing, but it's action through inaction, because you have to allow, that's when your biggest blessings come through, when you're resting, because that's the time that the universe, whatever holds us all, can step in and complete the work. That's co-creation as well. That is co-creation.
It's kind of an essential part of it too that I think
It
gets
is.
overlooked.
It's the whole cycle. And so many people, they're wondering like why they're not fully manifesting in their lives, or why, they're like always burnt out. It's because they never stop. And because they're trying to outsmart source by just doing, and not all that work is for us.
Mhm.
Inspiring.
Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. Any other thoughts, ladies? I feel like this was a really
So
interesting
good.
conversation.
Yeah. Rhea, it was like such a pleasure to connect with you. I'd love to connect with you more.
Yeah, definitely.
So Callie, you gotta share the deets of Rhea.
Yeah, I will. I'll end the recording now. Thank you guys for listening.
Yes,
Wherever
thank you
are.
all. Thank you.
Awesome.